Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. And on today's episode, we're going to get into the ish I don't like. And today, we're going to talk about non-confrontational people. Well, I see them as passive aggressive. Because non-confrontational is passive aggressive. You either going to say it with your chest or you not going to say that shit at all.
Say it with your chest, little ass nigga.
And a lot of times, non-confrontational people are not going to say it with their chest. They going to dance around the subject and hint at it like you playing charades or something. And that's some I do not like. I do not like having play no guessing game with somebody where you got a mouth and you could just clearly and thoroughly say what you need to say. What is on? Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. For real. Say what you need to say. That shit irked me in every way. Okay, let me not, before I start rhyming shit and trying to read. Anyway. But yes, so the first thing that really make me feel some type of way about passive aggressive people or non-confrontational people is not knowing how to deal with conflict in a healthy manner. Because respectfully, if you don't know how to deal with conflict healthy, then you just as bad as them toxic motherfuckers that like to throw hands instead of use words. And respectfully, I'm a combination of the two, depending on the circumstance and situations. However, I have never been scared to say how I feel unless I was in a position where I felt like I had to tolerate something in order to get something. And that make it even worse, because once I get what I need out this situation and I had to bite my tongue the whole time, you ain't gotta worry about me no more. If I ain't get to tell you how I feel or put my hands on you when it was going on, you ain't gotta worry about me no more. For real. But a person who has not said it with their chest, even if the opportunity is presented. And I'm not saying that, just because you non-confrontational, you automatically passive aggressive, but that's my perspective based off my personal experiences. I'm not saying every non-confrontational person is passive aggressive, but I don't see how you cannot be. It's either I'm not gonna say you aggressive or passive, but a lot of times as a black woman, being direct and straightforward has always gotten me seen as being the aggressor. So from my perspective, you telling somebody how you feel and just being able to speak up with yourself, you gonna automatically be seen as a problem any fucking ways, because most people want you to just take that shit and shit the fuck up. Okay, that's the reality of the world we live in. People want to do fucked up shit to you and don't want you to stand up for yourself. Okay, and this is historically speaking. So, unfortunately, from my perspective, it is an extreme. I ain't never did that dance in the middle. And I'm always usually on one side, never the other. If I have to hold my tongue, then I gotta be from around you. Because if you don't respect my feelings or respect what I have to say, then why are you in my face in the first place? And then sometimes life will put you in situations where you just gotta shut the fuck up. Okay? But that is not being passive aggressive, because you have to shut the fuck up. Sometimes life will humble you where you have to be in uncomfortable situations for your own growth, because life is not punishing you just because something is happening that you don't like. So I'm not going to put it that way, or, as if bad stuff only happened to you when you're going through karma. No, bad stuff happened to good people too, okay? So I don't want it to come off as a victim mindset. A lot of times the uncomfortable experiences that we have usually push us to our highest growth at that time that is needed for our next level. And this is from my own personal experiences. So that's why I can confidently say, life ain't whooping my ass. I just got to learn a lot of shit in order to evolve. That's it. So when you're in a humbling season where life is really just pushing you to expand your tolerance, and that's what I will use it as, expanding your tolerance. A lot of times For me, I'm a no nonsense motherfucker. No nonsense. Like, I can't take it. I don't want to be around it. I get triggered easily. Get out my face. I might slap you off instinct. Like, it's that serious. And then I've been in situations where I had to bite my whole tongue and stick it somewhere I didn't want to put it, because I needed to receive some type of help or something. And when I realized, a lot of times in the midst of my uncomfortable feelings disguised as anger, I was able to understand what the overall lesson was. So I couldn't even be angry enough to express myself anymore. I just had to take that lesson. Yeah, people's here, oh, I had to take that L. Baby, I ain't never took a loss. All I did was learn the lesson. That's what an L is for me, baby. I learned the lesson. Not to fuck with your ass no more. You gonna do it for me, y'all. Yes, Mr. Sir. I'm making a YouTube video. Let me finish my video, please. Yeah. No. But anyways, like I was saying before, the little baby came out their room trying to play in my face. Not knowing how to deal with conflict in a healthy manner is way worse than someone who is direct and straightforward, because you just like them toxic motherfuckers that like to throw hands. And when I said I am a combination of the two, depending on the circumstances and the situation, I need to rephrase that. I'm not toxic. However, I can identify toxicity because I lived in a lot of toxic environments, and that was a part of what was affecting me psychologically, subconsciously, and I was having these really bad psychic or psychotic episodes because the toxicity was overwhelming me. So I had to learn how to take what was oppressing me mentally and learn how to identify it early and not ignore a lot of things and do everything in my power to reroute and remove myself. So yes, as someone who, I have a conversation with you, but if you getting too slick, I don't know, I might end up slapping you. And this is why I know myself enough to know I have to stay away from people, and I can only deal with people in doses. And this is being self-aware and learning how to use my weaknesses for my benefit. Me knowing that I can sometimes be easily triggered depending on the environment and the spirit that I'm, in communion with or communication with at that time. I may not have a high tolerance for passive aggressive, sneak dissing, throwing shade, because I just don't have time. We all grown. Everybody know what they doing. I would rather deal with children because they do not know, and you have the right to teach them. It's your responsibility to teach them. So I can't be mad at a child for being childish, saying crazy stuff that's offensive, because children are blunt and they don't give a damn. But a grown person who don't have compassion, who insensitive, who's selfish and self-centered and feel like they can drain you, disrespect you, and still feel entitled to your energy is a totally different type of that I ain't putting up with no more. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I think that's what I am. All I know is I don't do that shit no more. Okay, that's all y'all need to know. So yes, not knowing how to communicate effectively is just as bad as somebody who be throwing hands and not even trying to use words at all. It's just the extremes opposite. You either gonna be okay. Y'all remember that meme where it was like it had a little face on, and then behind it was like, but like with the face on, it was like, but behind the face is like, I'm gonna see if I can find a meme. But I remember when that shit was so fucking popular, and it made me realize that so many people suppress how they feel and don't really express themselves. And so a lot of us have been in situations where we have been passive aggressive or had to tolerate something to get something. And they kind of like two sides of the same coin. One of them, you feel that you have to tolerate and, suppress. And then the other one, you just not willing to say that shit with your chest regardless, and it ain't even nothing to lose. You don't got nothing to lose in the situation but your dignity and your respect, and you gonna let that shit go right out the window because you don't want to say it with your chest. No, that's not the same thing. So yeah, but most people won't say it with their chest because they don't want to be seen as mean or aggressive. And like I told y'all, as a black woman, you're gonna always be seen as aggressive and insubordinate if you can effectively communicate respectively how somebody disrespected you. Just being able to stand up for yourself and look a motherfucker in the face and say, I don't know what type of day you having today, but I'm gonna need you to get it together, babes. And sometimes I have told people that, exactly like that. That's me respectfully saying, I don't know who you feeling like, but you better go find yourself and get the fuck out my face. That's the cool way of me saying, find you something safe to do. But then in corporate America, you might gotta say it way more professionally than that. But that's me. I be on some suave shit, especially with a lot of jobs I done had to work. You gotta have like some type of sexy about you. That's just me, period. I'm just sexy. But anyways, I digress. Sweeping under the rug as people. That's what I see that as. Knowing when to be quiet for your own personal benefit is not the same thing as just letting a motherfucker walk all over you and disrespect you. And instead of you saying it, you would rather dance around it. Or they go get somebody for you. People who cannot effectively say how they feel to you, about you, will be the same ones that'll go get somebody to jump you and beat you up on their behalf. Because why you can't fight your own battles? I'm not talking about no David and Goliath ass shit where you a little bitty bit and you fighting a big like Rolly and Slim. No, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about just regular effective communication. And a lot of times people don't want to do that, and they'll be mad at you because you can do that and you don't give a damn because I'm not responsible for your feelings, ma'am or sir. Now, wait until you address your issues with them before they address how they feel towards you. That's another thing non-confrontational people love to do. And because I have been in a lot of situations where I'm expressing myself effectively and they can't take it, so the only thing they can do is redirect and deflect back to me, piss me off real fast. Real fast. Because if you already felt some type of way, why you gonna wait till I want to get something off my chest today and you've been feeling this way for 2-3 weeks? I'm talking about they'll bring up some shit from a month ago and it's like, ho, you done. And ho is gender neutral. I ain't talking about the female, okay? Because a lot of times it don't even be the females. Sometimes it do. No, I ain't gonna lie. Yes, it do. And a lot of times they won't even have a conversation with me. They'll ghost me. And that's back to my other YouTube video about bad friendships. But I digress. Back to what I was saying. Ho is gender neutral, okay? But why would you wait until I want to express myself to try to make it about you? Yes, it is about you and how you choose to handle situations, but we're not going to make you a victim in a situation where you're supposed to be accepting accountability for something, or at least acknowledging my feelings in the situation. Don't piss me off, but you already did by doing that. Make stuff awkward and heavy energy. Energy lingering from avoiding conversations. Boy, that's a big one. If you ever lived in the house with somebody who don't like the stuff that you doing, but they won't tell you to your face, and so they dance around it, they energy, it be so thick in the air. It's like tension. It's like tension. You could cut it. You could just cut right through it with a butter knife. Because a lot of times we forget that we are energy first, and this flesh is not the main important thing. We are spirits having a human experience, so a lot of times we have an innate spiritual compass, and it allows us to be able to navigate things unseen and be able to put it into logical reasoning in the flesh. That's the importance of this flesh. So even when you're not saying how you feel, I can feel how you feel because I'm in tune with my feelings. So I feel you, even if you ain't said it. So that's what pissed me off even more, because we sitting right here and I can feel you and you just, what is we doing, boo? That's irritating to me. As an empath, even if you don't say it, I can read your energy. So at this point, I just feel like you're not standing on what you need to stand on. Or you just an energy vampire. Because if you don't like me, but you want to be around me, you want to have access to me, that's weird too. And I've been in situations like that too. Yeah. And they wait until somebody is bold enough to express their disdain for you, and then they want to jump on the bandwagon too. And that's how you get secret enemies. Motherfuckers been feeling some type of way about you, but they don't want to say it with their chest. So not knowing how to deal with confrontation is really bad. It's never not going to be okay, because that's not effective communication. And as humans in society and social environments, that is the most important thing, knowing how to communicate. And we got grown folks who will whoop a child because they don't know how to express themselves or say how they feel. And you get around your grown friends and you do the same thing, but you whooping your child for it. And that be the type of stuff that I look at it from. Because it be grown people knowing right from wrong, still choosing just to be foolish, but will punish a child for the same thing that they doing. What is we doing? So yeah, that's that shit I do not like. But anyways, if you liked the video and you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments what is something that you don't like. Love you guys. Bye.